So, I'm going to talk today about basically some massive life change I had in 2017. It's recording okay? Okay, so I'm going to talk about, you want me to stand that way or if it's okay? Or?
That's perfect.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I had been through some really kind of bad stuff, and I'm going to talk about where I was, and then I'll talk about the big life change I had in 2017, and then I'm going to talk about the DJing and about running Well Raver. Also going to talk about some neuroscience that I learnt when I was having hypnotherapy, and lots of indirect benefits I've had by kind of following my passions. And then hopefully at the end we can talk through some stuff about the neuroscience, and if you've got any questions you can ask. The first time I've done this, so I don't know how long it's going to take or anything, so I'll just see how it goes. Okay, but first of all, thank you very much for coming. I didn't know if anyone was going to come, so nice group. Okay, so so I'm Steve. My DJ name is Rubinator. I call myself that because I do Deliveroo. I thought it sounded nice, catchy. I don't know, but that's another story in itself. But basically, when I was younger, didn't realise at the time, but when I was living at home, there's a lot of when I was saying something, it would often be corrected by my mum, and actually it's very hard to say my own opinion when I was younger. And at the time I didn't realise it, and then I got a little bit older, and I noticed there was a lot of anxiety building up. Okay, and in my early 20s, I started doing raving, and I was taking those little round tablets and things. And then combination of that and stuff that happened when I was younger kind of made me start having panic attacks when I was in my early 20s. So it wasn't very nice. I could live my life. I mean, I went travelling when I was in my mid-20s. I lived and worked in Japan for a few years, but I'd always have the anxiety, and it was it almost felt like half-life in a way. It was when I came back from Japan. It was 2011. Just before I came back from Japan, I wasn't in a very good state. I was taking a lot of sedatives and things. It was not because I couldn't sleep and things. And just before I came back from Japan, I thought I wanted to go to China for a week. So I travelled in China before, a few years ago, and then I thought I'd just go back. I just wanted to go to Shanghai. So I got my ticket and I went to Shanghai, and I just didn't know what I was doing there. Basically, I was in this youth hostel, and it was what am I doing here? And I was really, really panicking, right? And so what I did was, the next day, I just went back to the airport, and I just had some cash. Luckily, all my credit cards were blocked because I hadn't planned ahead, and I got cash and just went back to Japan, the day after, to a different airport that I arrived in. So I was basically just trying to explain that I couldn't think logically at that time. I was very had a lot of anxiety, and I was couldn't make a rational decision. So I was that's where I was. And then I came back to the UK 2011. I did a master's degree in Exeter University, teaching English to speakers of other languages. And during that stage, I had some CBT, so I finally got some therapy for it, which helped. Yeah, it took the edge off the symptoms I was having, but I didn't quite stop the anxiety so much. It was still there. I was still having lots of problems. Then my job that I wanted to get an Exeter didn't work out, the teaching job. So I was a bit I've done the masters, I've been in Japan. What do I do now? And so then I did a bit of work at the Exeter County Council doing administration. But I found that I could work for a few months, a contract, and then I suddenly, after 5-6 months, started getting really, really stressed out. So I'd ask for a day off, and they'd go, you can't have a day off. And then I'd end up leaving the contract. So that was 3 years, my life was going like that. I'd work for a few months, have to stop, maybe being unemployed for a month or two, and then find another contract. Kind of a cycle was kind of repeating, and I wasn't getting anywhere in my life. Okay, so one day I went to the job centre and I said to them, my life's not going anywhere. And that just led into incredible sequence of events. I mean, you really can't believe it. The first thing was, they sent me to they said, well, you should do some volunteering at the YMCA Job Club. So I did that, and I've been here, I can't remember where that was actually. And immediately I felt valued. I'm using some of my teaching experience and computing experience, and I felt like I was giving something back. And so that was the first thing. That was in early 2017. Then I went to have a doctor's appointment. I say that my anxiety isn't very good it's pretty bad at the minute. And then I was told, my regular doctor was sick, and so I had a standing doctor. And my standing doctor said, why don't you go and try hypnotherapy? Okay, so lots of things started around that time. Started volunteering, had hypnotherapy, and went and had my first hypnotherapy session. Okay, and I totally half of it was talking therapies, and the extra half was you lie down on your back, and you've got some deep trance music playing, and they tell you lots of positive discourse, like you have lots of confidence. They just really build you up. And I came home that night after the hypnotherapy, and I felt I had an image of my late grandfather giving me a massive hug, and it felt so real. It felt like he was there. That night, I just felt getting better. This is like a turning over. This is like start something new. And from that day, 2007, that was around June 2017. From that day, it was like all the stuff that happened in my life was gone. It was like cut in half. That is the past. All this stuff about panic attacks, whatever, the job's not working out, having loads of interviews and not getting any jobs, all those contracts, that was just gone. And for the last 6 years, it's just been brilliant. One of the first things my hypnotherapist said to me was, what are you passionate about? Okay, so I had a little think. Passionate about rave, I always used to like rave. Used to have a happy hour. I could go in my car, 2014. That's 1994, 1995. Passed my driver's license in 1994. So addicted to all this rave music. So I identified I was passionate about rave music. Then they said, my hypnotherapist said, how can you build on this passion? So I was like, I had a little think. And I thought about DJing. And then I bought these decks here that are in the middle of the table. So these are just quite simple, basic decks. They're Newmark Pro 2s, £170, just a bit of plastic. But where I've gone from there is really quite incredible. So I got those decks, and then I was looking for somewhere to put on a kids and adults disco. And so I went looking for that, and then I went to my local community centre, and I just met hundreds of people. I just met so many people, it was unbelievable. And that was, as well, June, that was in the summer of 2017. So I had all these big life changes, got hypnotherapy, started to DJ, found a whole community full of people, and then my confidence just got up and up and up. And then last year, I was invited to DJ at Phonic Festival. I don't know if you heard of Phonic Festival at Exeter Phoenix. And I don't want to be too, I hope this doesn't sound arrogant at all, but I knew, I was walking to the venue, I was with a friend who's also a Phonic FM DJ, and I just walked in, said to her, I'm going to smash this place tonight. And this is it. It's a geezer, that's a nice. Yeah, going off a bit, yeah. I actually changed the music slightly because I recorded it on my old phone and the music was just so like nah. And after so I've got a better phone. Yeah, so I walked in and I just like was playing some UK garage and I was playing some Ibiza music and it was just, wow, this is quite, I realised how far I'd come then. I just did another event there last month, and security had to calm me down. I was on the microphone and people were dancing on the tables. So I got told off because I was like, I was just making people go too crazy, and yeah. So it's just through the main thing for me has been the last 3 years having hypnotherapy really, and it's just totally calmed me down. But I didn't just go right. I had hypnotherapy. Let's go and put a rave on. My hypnotherapist has been a little bit like a life coach. So it wasn't like just buy that controller and do this. First of all, it was like doing small parties at my community centre, the Beacon Community Centre, Sharon. So I was doing small discos for that, and then I did a free party for somebody, one of the wellbeing enterprises, and that was my first time playing in front of a fairly big crowd, and then everyone was clapping at the end, and it was really nice. I'd also at that time been to a sober rave in Exeter Phoenix, and
I'm yet to go to a sober rave at Phoenix.
Okay, yeah.
Obviously been to the one down at Exeter Distillery.
I thought you went to the Phoenix one. I had that one. So that sober rave was at 2017, and they were playing in Hard House. I'll tell you what, I got goosebumps. I just haven't danced like that for 20 years. And I was absolutely, wow, this is amazing. I had glow sticks and everything, right? And it's like a 90s rave. And that kind of atmosphere, everyone was happy. And I thought, I want to do something like this. I want to try and put on something like this. But at that time, I wasn't quite ready. I didn't really know what to do, didn't have the confidence. And so nothing happens for about 18 months. I think I did a few private parties and things, but nothing really massive. Then 2019, in January, I did a DJ workshop at a place called the Bridge Collective. It's now been closed now. But I went there, I volunteered to give some teaching how to DJ. But I hardly taught anybody. They were just enjoying listening to the old school. It was like it wasn't a rave as such, it was sort of sitting down, but people were really into the music. And I thought, I'm going to start something here, I'm going to just go for it. So in 2019, started Well Raver off. And I'll show you some of the events I've done with Well Raver. Next time I need more videos, so my voice is getting a bit dry here. No, I'll just rewind it now. So Well Raver. That's my voice monkey. It's at the cabin. the EX4 nightclub. Sounds a bit knackered on this one. Yeah, it's that video again. I always love this video. Yeah. I don't think it's on Spotify. I'll stop this here, actually. Do you know who? Well, I said it here on the title, DJ Rap. During COVID, managed to interview one of the biggest DJs in the rave scene, the leading female DJ Rap, and I absolutely loved it. And I got a real passion for interviewing. I love interviewing people, and I actually do Phonic FM. Don't know if you know Phonic FM,
Yeah.
the radio station. But I'm doing that. I do that once a month. And yeah, I started interviewing people a couple of years ago, and I do lots of interviews on well-being. So I invite friends or people I know in the local community to come and just to come on the show. And that's something else that I really love doing, because the DJing is really good, but sometimes I put on some events in August, put on 3 events, but might not have enough money to do the events next 2 or 3 months, but at least I've got the radio show. So there's always something to look forward to, and I'll talk about that, actually neuroscience about that in a minute. But yeah, I mean, it's been incredible 4 years. Just met, we'll talk about networking a little bit. Basically, just networked with hundreds of people, I don't know, maybe even thousands, but it's all been through just following what I'm passionate about, like the DJing. So I gave the example of Beacon Heath Community Centre, I know hundreds of people. I just met loads of people just by doing the events, and even this talk, meeting new people. And it's been, but I haven't had to try. They say networking, go to all these networking events, don't they? But I haven't had to try. I've just been meeting people all the time. And even in the summer, did an event at Exeter Distillery, which is at Carrot Street, and yeah, basically just met another load of people there. Met a load of people doing the reggae nights, because I went to the reggae night. I was promoting my own, giving out some flyers for my event that was there the week after. I just met a whole load of people for that. Just gonna have some water. Yeah, DJ Rap, lovely. Yeah, more videos for the next one. Yeah. So the indirect benefits, I've got a little notepad just in case. Yeah, so going to the community centre, meeting all the people doing events, and also at Phonic FM. I did a DJs at a Phonic FM silent disco a few weeks ago at Exeter Library. And yeah, it had lots of different coloured headphones. So they all had headphones, and then I was the headphones changed colour depending on who was DJing. So I was the green, and then there was another red, and then there's the blue. So at the start, I wasn't getting most of the people listen to the red, and then later on, all these people, all the headphones turning green. I was like, yeah, let's get it, And yeah, they went to blue eventually. But that was just an experience. I found out about Phonic FM through the Sober Raves. The guys running the Sober Raves told me about Phonic FM. And so, yeah, I went and registered with Phonic, and then some of my best experiences have been through Phonic. Actually, I managed to DJ at Exeter Auditorium once. That's the biggest venue I've been at. I was supporting a band called Henge. They were an electronic band, electronic rock band. And when I was DJing up on the balcony, and people came in. There was like full dance floor, and when I got on that balcony, I'll tell you what, I can't explain that feeling. when you got all the people underneath you like that, it was just like, it made you feel so good. You see, elevated. And they weren't even kind of looking at me, they were looking at the sort of stage anticipating Henge to come on. But I mean, it was such a good feeling, and I went down, at the end of that, I went downstairs, and like, so many people wanted to shake my hand, about 20 people wanted to shake my hand. I was like, all right, here you go. It was brilliant, you know. And so it just shows you that if I hadn't gone to the sober rave, I wouldn't have had the connect with Nick Sutherland, this lovely guy who's running EDP at that time. And yeah, I might be doing another sober rave with this same organisation. It's supposed to be 13th of September, so that's not that long actually, is it? So yeah, they're waiting to confirm it their end. But what I love about it, really love about it, is the wheeling and dealing. I've always liked business, and I just love going to a venue. You know, what do you want? 200 quid? I'll do it for 140. I just love that kind of heart of it. You can just be so creative. Like this talk, I thought of myself, I'll just go and do a talk. Sounds like a good laugh, you know. And actually, like, some people have come. It's really nice to. It's putting yourself out there. Have confidence to put yourself out there. Like, I don't think last year I would have had the confidence to do a talk. So it's all kind of like you're going up and up and up. It's very, and you just don't know what's going to happen next, really. It's quite okay. So do a little bit on one thing I was working with very early on with my hypnotherapist. Was she taught me the chemicals you need to feel well. So can we think about what kind of chemicals you need? I'll throw it back on you, this one. Save my voice. What chemicals do you need to feel well?
Serotonin.
Serotonin? Yep. That's one. Dopamine. What do you want when you're just talking to people?
Adrenaline?
Adrenaline, that's like a skydiving. Yeah.
Although that's a naturally occurring element. Yeah, you know.
It's called oxytocin.
Social hormones.
Yes.
Yes. So menopausal for that.
I don't know where this is going, but yeah, it'll be another talk for another. But yeah,
I definitely know that one.
yeah. So oxytocin. It sounds like fancy, doesn't it? But it just means like speaking to people. You just get a good feel when you're speaking to people. So yeah, I was taught like how to get oxytocin. So when I go to my Beacon Community Centre every Friday, talking to loads of people, all really nice people, and you just get loads of oxytocin for that. And also, like just meeting people, just going out, maybe in a week doing have coffee with someone, that's oxytocin. You know, and it's just like going out and socialising, really. Do as much socialising as you can. And then dopamine, how do you think you get the dopamine?
Through a myriad of stuff.
What, doing things, you mean?
Yeah.
Like what?
Well, yeah, going to a party or going through a good workout at the gym. Or
Yeah, it could be endorphins, that.
right, endorphins.
Yeah, that was the other one, endorphins. Yeah, because I was going to say, yeah, the endorphins are really good. Get out and exercise. You don't have to be either doing ultra marathons either. It could just be going for a walk. Like before, I used to do triathlon, and really enjoyed it. But it didn't really help with the anxiety so much. I was still a bit anxious. But then I started building dopamine into my life, and one of the big things I find is actually putting on a rave. I absolutely really gets me buzzing. You know, to have something like that. Combined with oxytocin, then you get serotonin, and that's when you feel really good. That's what I've learned. So I've got my diary, so what I'm doing this week, you know. So I try to get a little bit of each chemical, you know, throughout the week. So maybe Tuesday I meet my friend. I've got a video on this on our YouTube account actually. I'll let you know that, and then you can see this video about the chemicals actually. But yeah, got oxytocin, bring that in, meet people as much as you can, dopamine, get something that really gets you going, put on an event, or it could be anything really, it could be training for anything. And then once you've got that, you get the serotonin, and then that's when you feel really nice. But you can't, for example, you have to always plan a little bit ahead. So, for example, I did 3 events in August, I was pumped up, let's go, kind of thing. I kind of knew I needed something in September, so actually doing the talk today kind of helped me kind of still get my kind of happy chemicals, if you like. So, yeah, so at the end, I'll tell you the YouTube channel, and then you can see the video. Okay, so we can have a little, not break as such, but I want to give you some of these little conversation slips in pairs. Okay, so do you want to have this? Basically, I want you to reenact my conversation I had with my hypnotherapist about what you're passionate about, how you're building it, and just see what you come up with.